My name is Elizabeth Douglas. I am 17 years old, born in Virginia in 1819, born a slave. In Virginia, I had a family and my best friend Harriet. But when I turned 7, I lost all of that. I was sold to a wicked slave master, John Douglas. I didn't hate white folks, because I knew deep down they were good people. But I hated him with all that was in me. His wife showed mercy toward me, a good white woman. I was a personal slave, and she loved me. Master didn't believe in giving slaves enough food to make their bellies full, but she always gave me extras. She taught me to read and write, a little arithmetic too. Said that an educated slave is a powerful one. One night, when Mrs. Douglas was asleep and I was cleaning the kitchen, Master walked in on me. I jumped because I was so scared. He told me I had no need to be, because I was too pretty to be scared. Then, out of nowhere, he kissed me. I pushed him away, and then he slapped me. He said he was sorry and kissed me again. Said if I said anything, he gonna kill me. I wanted to scream when he touched me, over and over again. But I didn't want to die, so I cried myself to sleep that night instead. Mrs. Douglas, she ain't no fool. She knew what her husband had done. Told me I was with child, had to run away, for the sake of my baby and me. Said there was a route for slaves. Called it the Underground Railroad. Said it could lead me to freedom. I heard other slaves talk about it, but I never put my mouth on such a thing like that. Talking like that can get you beat or hung. I ain't one either. She gave me a map from South Carolina to Canada. Told me I can only travel by night, hide in the morning. She gave me bread, cheese, tomatoes, water, a fresh pair of clothes, and a Bible. Then kissed me on my cheek, told me she loved me. I never heard a white person say that, so I guess she meant it. I didn't want to leave Mrs. Douglas, because Lord knows she hates her husband just as much as I do. But I had to leave. I want to be free, and I will. I cried when I left, though, on my first night of freedom. I cried because I had to leave Miss Douglas. I cried because Master raped me. I cried because I am with child and a child myself. I cried because I want to be free. Those were tears of joy. I've been traveling for a week now, and one night I slept in a cave, but a white girl found me that morning, called herself a Quaker, and said she meant no harm. She told me to go with her, that a family hides runaways, and they could take me too. Her name was Margaret. Said I can call her Maggie. I didn't know if she was telling the truth, but I figured dying a runaway is just as much freedom as reaching Canada is. There were 15 other slaves in Maggie's house. They fed us and told us things we needed to know to get to freedom. The Underground Railroad was no real railroad, but we slaves knew better. If white folk heard all that freedom talk, they'd do more than just kill us. There was a slave named Samson. He was 19 and could read and write like me, so he was a conductor. The slaves he followed were called his packages. They asked me to be a conductor, 'cause I'm a smart slave. I agreed that night. Me and Samson headed out with 7 slaves following each of us. I don't know how long it'd take to get to freedom, but I know I would get there. We've been traveling for 47 days now. We stopped at the house of Quakers along the way for water, food, and shelter, so they can tell us things we don't know. We have one more day till we out of Virginia, and once we out of the South, freedom will be closer. I can touch it, like I can taste it. That night, we slaves slept. We was tired. Our feet was bruised, and I don't think we could walk any longer. It was hard, those freedom journey. But we'll make it. Samson even promised that. He spoke to me in Igbo, told me I was beautiful, and that when we get to Canada, he calls it the Negro Promised Land. Said we gon' jump the broom. I never got time to love my family back when I was 7, or my best friend, Mrs. Douglas. She was the closest thing to love I've ever known. But Samson, I think I love him. The farther north we get, the more excited I am. We've been traveling for 3 months, and it's getting harder for me since I'm with child. I'm a child myself, so I decided if my baby look like me, I'm gonna keep him. If it look like my master, I'm gonna give it to a white family. Let it get a white life, get a white education. I hope the baby look like massa. If it's a boy, I'll name him Freeman. If it's a girl, I'll name her Freemay. It don't matter the name, as long as it's free. We made it to Canada today. Freedom never felt so good. Took a lot to get there. All the white folks we done came across. All the nights we went hungry, food, and without food or water, or our feet bled from stepping in the cotton fields. It was only through the grace of God we made it. It's been a year now since I've been free. Me and Samson jumped the broom, and he got a job working at a mine. We saved up enough money to buy a house. I named my child Freeman. I cried when I let him go, but he was too yellow for me to keep him. I had blue eyes too, just like Massa. I go back to the railroad, help slaves get across the border. And when they do, we sometimes let them come stay with us so they can get on their feet. I's free now, free from slavery, free from Massa. And sometimes I think back to Virginia, to my ma and pa. Wonder if they're alive or dead, free or a slave. If I could, I'd go all the way up to Virginia to find them and bring them up here with me. And my best friend Harriet, I don't worry about her. I know she's doing well. I saw her on my way to Canada. She's a conductor like me. We hugged, kissed, and cried together. Said when she get enough slaves across, she gonna come find me. After all these years, me and my best friend together again. I can't believe that. I was with child again. This time it's Simpsons. This child gonna be free. Free like me. I never knew freedom could taste this good. And my child will taste the same freedom. Tastes like sugar. Sweet.